Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. So, was reading through some stuff. I know some people are negative, very negative. There's the sentiment out there is very negative on a whole bunch of different stocks, sectors, areas. Everyone's negative on housing. It seems like everyone's negative on even uranium. There's people that are negative in the comment section. Everyone says you shouldn't be in the market. It's too dangerous. XYZ. Maybe that'll prove to be true. Everyone could potentially get humbled, but I can tell you what I look at. I can tell you what I do. I'm not necessarily scared at this particular time, and things are looking worse. I do agree with that. And we'll have to see the continued deterioration in the overall markets and the stuff that we look at for me to become negative. I am inherently kind of a positive, optimistic outlook, and I think that benefits investors. It seems those who are very pessimistic and have negative outlooks don't do nearly as well in the markets, not even close. But we're going to go over uranium here. We're going to do uranium technical analysis update here. I'm going to give you an update on all the stocks and kind of give you my opinion here and what to look for coming up. So this is the futures pricing of uranium. We've had this pullback here. We've went sideways. We've broken out to the upside, and we're getting a pullback here on a weekly candlestick basis. We want to stay above this support line, basically very close to right underneath us, maybe $46 at a minimum if we were to come back and pull within this pattern again. And to me, this pattern, the way that it scribed itself out, looks pretty good for a potential move higher. We might get one last dip before that move. So I'm still remaining positive. If you were to look back and take a look at this, this does look beautiful of this move higher. But if they continue to raise rates and we start to see an implosion on the housing front, and I know people say, well, housing, the inflation isn't being driven by housing. I can just tell you this, guys. There's a lot of jobs that are created in construction. There's a lot of things that are tied to the housing market and the health of the housing market. It's very rare in history to have a blowout downside move in housing and not get a recession crash type movement. But right now, we haven't seen that crash yet. We haven't seen the housing starts completely fall out. They've pulled back. And uranium has pulled back and it's still above its breakout. So everything is okay. The Sprott Physical Uranium Trust, we're getting a little bit more selling pressure here. That's correct. But we're also right above the support level, which is holding at this time. And we've got a nice little hammer candlestick there showing us that we've got support. Is this support going to hold? No one knows 100% for sure, but as of right now, it is holding. And that's what we're going to have to go off of. And again, we're set, our eyes are set on about 1850 or higher closing. To get above that resistance line and close above it would be a huge hurdle. If we can jump that hurdle, I think we're going to be off to the races very soon after that. Maybe we get a jump, a retest, and then a move higher. So that's really what I'm looking for, is that break of the 1850 level for the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust. And if the physical markets go up, we're basically going to break out. And we're right there. URNM, this is the ETF for the uranium mining companies. We are above this resistance support line. So we can use it as support. We are still above it. Everything still looks good. So I don't know where all the negativity is. I would become very negative if we break below I'd say $60 and we start breaking below maybe even 55. We break below 55 and get down here. That's pretty negative. But right now, everything looks okay. And I would say we're still above good support right where we're at. Camco's also looking right at its resistance line. It basically is coming up and hitting it. So we have overhead resistance above us. We could come back and do a loop. I've said that before, and that's looking like what we're doing. And with the overall markets being very weak, we could get pulled lower because of the overall markets and the selling pressure in the overall markets and the increasing interest rates and getting tugged and pulled in all sort of different directions. And there's a lot of stuff in the short term that's going down. Strategic Petroleum Reserve releases, lockdown still in China. There's just a lot of information to basically absorb right now. And then looking at some of the companies, here's Goviax. Goviax is, again, right at this support level. We've used it the entire time here. And it's just been moving sideways. It's sold off a little bit, but we still have good support right underneath it. We've got Global Atomic. That's actually had a pretty good move higher. Here's that nice big kind of stair-stepping move higher. Yeah, we're coming back down a little bit, but this here is still in an uptrend type move. Still looks really good. Bannerman, it's still moving sideways. It's been in this chopping, sideways pattern for a little while. Looking back, we've got the nice good pattern that I look for. And then usually we get a launch. Can the overall markets be holding this thing lower? It's possible, definitely possible. But I think it looks good. That's me. Thesis Metals, another Namibian company. This still looks really good. We've got a broken out bottoming pattern that has broken to the upside. It's kind of that first wave or move. We've been chopping sideways to slightly lower. But again, it doesn't look horrible. It even looks good right now with a little bullish hammer candlestick pattern. And again, guys, the short term is the most difficult to project or predict or do whatever you want with it, because anything can move the price in the short term. Emotions, overall stock market. But in the long term, that's where your fundamentals matter. And the long term is based over years. So if you think that the uranium bull market is solved and that we have an oversupply of uranium, then yeah, you shouldn't be in this trade. But if you think that we are undersupplied, that we have deficits, and that eventually those fundamentals and production has to come online, then I would be long uranium. We're still in an energy crisis. So Thesis still, looks good. PurePoint, which is a much smaller company, this guy is way down there. These guys are going to lag. All of the exploration companies are going to lag the producers. So I think PurePoint will lag. Deep Yellow actually looks very strong to me. This looks good. You can see we have a lot of selling pressure up here. We had it all through these months. 1 month, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, we've been trying to break through this level for a while. There's a lot of selling pressure. That's why those wicks exist at the top. But notice the run-up that we've had. These 2 months, we've had massive run-up. We have a little bit of a sell-off as we hit our head on this resistance again. And there's resistance up here. We're just hitting resistance. And we have to break on through it. So Deep Yellow still looks very good to me. There's no reason to be bearish here. At least I don't see a reason to be bearish. Paladin Energy, this is more of an a production company. And this guy is down there. It's really, really low. If you kind of look here, I mean, we're squeezing up and we've broken that to the upside. Here's the daily candlesticks. There's our break to the upside here. This looks bullish. We're sitting on top of a pattern. We're not below a pattern. So yeah, we sold off the past couple of days, but to me, this still looks very bullish. And again, I buy pullbacks off of support levels. Sky Harbor, again, this is a small exploration company. And these guys are going to lag. And then all of a sudden, a whole bunch of stuff's going to happen all at once. So that's Sky Harbor. Canalaska is the same way. This has been under a resistance level for a long time. Nice, good buying pressure, small selling pressure. I still think this looks like we're going to go higher. This looks good for a potential move higher, even though we've sold off the past couple of days. Next Gen Energy, again, still looking good. We've kind of pulled off to the downside here. We're pulling back up. We zoom in on the dailies here. We are chopping sideways to slightly higher is what we're moving. But I still am positive on Next Gen. Still looks good. Base load, again, it's gonna lag, and then all of a sudden a lot of stuff's gonna happen all at once. In this pattern here, what I'm expecting is kind of a pattern that looks like this. We're going to go back and forth, and then we're going to have this huge break like that. That's kind of what I'm expecting here. You can see the pattern behind me. That's what this blue line and white line are. And this guy's going to move sideways, 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 and then boom, do a large move higher. Fission 3.0, we're playing with this downtrend line, and we're squeezing up into the corner here. Again, a very small exploration company. It's going to squeeze, squeeze, squeeze until it can't squeeze anymore. And then boom. But again, it's going to be delayed behind a lot of other companies. Fission Uranium Corporation, we're moving sideways. We're kind of right at this support level. We still are getting higher lows and higher highs. So when I look at this here, low, higher low, higher low, higher low, we're still getting those higher lows. So the trend is intact at this time. Still looks good. Kazatomprom, I still think it looks great. Could we go down? Yeah, we could even go down in the short term and I'd still be bullish before a move higher. But we've broken this downtrend line. That means that we've broken the downtrend. And usually you get a high, you get a higher low, and we're right now we've broken on up and we're still making higher highs and higher lows. It's an uptrend. So Kazatomprom still looks really good. Peninsula Energy, it's just been moving sideways. I know people get very impatient, but these small companies move sideways, 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 and then everything happens at once because we're waiting for the retail sector to join this area. Boss Energy, that's among the favorites for a lot of people, but we are at this resistance level. We got to break through it, and we're just struggling to break through that resistance level. It's going to take some time. We need the spot uranium price to start moving. We've got Consolidated Uranium, that's right at support. We've got Lotus Resources is above support here, so that still looks all right. We got a little bit of selling pressure here this past day. I've seen better looking setups, but again, these are kind of delayed looking companies, these small ones. They're going to be delayed, and then everything's going to happen at once. Uranium Royalty Corporation, we've got a good strong resistance support line at $2.30. I mean, if you're part of the Platinum membership, what I would tell you is, look, we need to be looking at this here. And if we've got support, that would be a good spot to look. If you're part of the Platinum membership, that's how I would approach it. I can't tell anybody advice, but that's a spot where I would be buying is in this support region at 234, 240. The way that I make my money that might be different than others is that I'm buying off support levels where we've got good support. But that's how I do it. And sometimes even in the short term, if markets don't go much of anywhere, at least the money I'm putting in could potentially be making some money. You got what I need. So we've got this resistance line and support level that we've got. We've broken to the downside of it in the short term. We've got a bunch of other support levels all through here. We've got a nice strong support level at $5.15-ish area. We've got another level here that's coming across. Basically, we're dilly-dallying across all these different support resistance lines. It's kind of a messy chart. URG, another company that's got strong support underneath it, $1.10 or so. And this still looks good. It doesn't look bad. Broken downtrend line. UEC, still looking quite good. We've got a long-term big picture view of strong heavy resistance right where we're at. We've tried to break out. We're pulling on back. But again, we still have half a month left in this month here. So we have to see what happens. And then we've got support coming across here, basically right where we're at. We've got some support going across here, all through here. Lots of heavy trading through there. Centrus Energy still looking good. Yeah, we do have some negative, kind of a bearish engulfing there where we could pull back like we've been doing. And maybe we pull back to this area before heading higher again. But that's what we've got for LEU. Again, we're still in an uptrend. Good momentum moving higher in the short term. ISO Energy, it's pulling on back here, obviously, but we've still got support underneath us. There's our support. And every time we come up in this region up here, we've gotten sell-in pressure. Big wicks at the top means that we come up and we try to move higher, but we can't. We're getting selling pressure. So we have to break through that selling pressure eventually. And once that thing breaks, I think we're going to see a big move. Appia Energy, we're still in this declining wedge pattern. We have not broken out yet, and I think eventually we will. We'll come out and break, and we'll have a good, nice little party moving higher. Denison Mines, moving sideways. We've got that bloody nose chest thing going on. We do have a lot of resistance above us. There's that resistance line that we have to break out. We're still below that resistance line. It's still there. Blue Sky Uranium. Blue Sky Uranium, again, we've got that nice resistance line through here. We got to break through it. This is going to be a lag, and then eventually I think the retail sector is going to come in and buy up a lot of this stuff. Forum Energy Metals, we've got a broken declining wedge pattern to the upside. The way that I see this is we could see a little bit move back lower before moving on up. And a little bit of selling pressure recently. Again, these are small exploration companies that are going to lag, and then everything's going to happen at once, kind of. Laramide Resources just moving sideways, still between the resistance and support level. Western Uranium Vanadium Corporation, right at that support line there. We need to break back above it and get back above that support level. Mega Uranium, this is, I think, a favorite amongst the retail crew. We are below it, getting a little bit more selling pressure here. And I think this will definitely lag the overall uranium market because it's a small exploration kind of type company, favorite amongst the retailers. Standard Uranium moving sideways at a very low level, right on support. Valor Metals, we're right on support here. Right at support. We've got a lot of support underneath us for this one. Elevate Uranium. Yeah, we've got a little bit of a pullback here recently. But again, we're above support. Everything still looks fine at this juncture. 92E. Pulling back a little bit, but still looking all right. I don't see too much of patterns there. And then New Scale, we've got this nice breakout there. It's kind of hanging out, moving sideways. And still looks all right. Not much to really say there. But that's the uranium sector. I'm still positive on it until we start breaking some of these support levels. If we start breaking some of the support levels and really starting to decline on heavy volume, then I would change my mind. But right now, it's a whole bunch of nothing. You got to sit tight and wait for the pitch to come to you. And right now, that's what investing's about. It's about doing a whole bunch of nothing. Investing's really just a really long plane ride where you do a whole bunch of nothing, and then everything happens at one point when sentiment changes or whatever. It's not really news-driven. News-driven only lasts for a few days or a week or something like that, and then that usually gets priced back out. But structural-driven, what happens is you move very quickly, you base, you move quickly, you base, and you have to be in there for those big moves. Otherwise, you miss the move. So that's what I'm seeing. And if you guys like this type of analysis, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the Platinum membership for finding value. If you guys like this type of analysis and you want my opinions on what I'm buying, what I'm doing is I'm taking my opinions out of the mix and using proven methods to accumulate. And then I hold on. I'm not trading in and out. You can trade in and out. You can do that. And there's going to be a technical analysis training coming up this next week. I'm going to put it up on the website here shortly for the Platinum members. And that's what we'll have. So that's what I've got for today, guys. Hopefully you have a good day. We'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.